What's going on, guys? Satsuki the Savage here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Attack on Titan, chapters 117 and 118. Now, it's a lot to get into. Hopefully, this video won't be too long. I just want to say with chapter 118, I thoroughly enjoyed that chapter. There was like zero complaints with anything that transpired in that chapter. So, shouts out to Isayama, but let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Starting with chapter 117, the reason why I didn't review this chapter last month was because most of it was pure action. You had Eren display his newly stolen power, using the Warhammer Titan's ability to completely overwhelm Reiner and Porco. So, round 4 of Eren versus Reiner and round 2 of Eren versus Porco ended up being one-sided in the favor of Eren. However, due to the combination of Pieck and General Magath, who was sniping Eren from a distance, Eren didn't have a chance to completely crush Marley. With Eren being attacked on 3 different fronts, and with us learning that the Warhammer Titan's power expends a massive amount of stamina, Eren was effectively driven into a corner until Anarchy Zeke showed up. But besides the fighting in the chapter, you had 2 instances of good character moments, both involving Gabi. The first moment was when Pieck signaled Porco to cut off her hand so that she can transform into a Titan without harming Gabi. Pieck could have easily transformed still cuffed to Gabi, which would have saved the risk of her being immediately killed by Eren, but instead she prioritized Gabi's life first, transformed, and got Gabi to a safer area. These actions from Pieck proved to me that her words to Gabi in chapter 116 were sincere, where she had expressed her trust in comrades. The second character moment was when we see General Magath show genuine concern for Gabi, scolding her for going into enemy territory. General Magath has proven to be a complex character because although he has a disdain for Eldians, he has been shown to be pretty tolerant of them, especially compared to other Marleyans. So this moment where General Magath is worried about Gabi not only reinforces his tolerance, but maybe you can even say that he has grown a tad bit fond of Eldians, at least the ones he's fought with. Lastly, for chapter 117, Gabi reveals the information she learned from Zeke while aboard the airship, which was that Zeke is a Titan of royal blood. This was information that Zeke did well to hide from Marley, so with this info now known, Marley now had 2 objectives. 1, take away the founding Titan power from Eren. 2, keep Zeke and Eren from coming in contact with each other at all cost. Now with chapter 118, there are a ton of different directions I can go in, but first I'll start with the direction of agenda because I fucking called it. Onyankopon freeing the SWAT! Moving on to the brother, Onyankopon. I think he's lying when it comes to him trying to trick Elena that he's on her side, because I do not believe he's on her side. He spent all this time with Hanji, and for the conversations that he's had with Hanji, it seems like he actually cares about Paradise Island. So I think he will be the one to free everybody in that cell. Never, ever, ever doubt the brother. But in all seriousness, I'm glad that Onyankopon was the one to free our boys and girls. He has proven his commitment to helping the Eldians of Paradise Island. And through the interaction with Onyankopon and Connie, we see that Yelena was pretty much a lone wolf in her support of the euthanasia plan. Onyankopon was basically like, bruh, why the hell would I follow a whack-ass plan like that? I got self-respect and morals and all that shit. But this segues me into talking about how much of a crazy bitch Yelena is. Yelena is gazing at the destruction of Marleyan airships as if she's witnessing fireworks, arms stretched, moaning, Zeke! It seemed in my eyes that Yelena had a legit orgasm from watching Zeke kill niggas. This was the Attack on Titan equivalent of Hisoka having a stone hard erection before fighting Gon. Along with this, after we see Connie, John, Armin, and Mikasa free, they all gather to the surface where Yelena is still mesmerized by Zeke's handiwork. They see Yelena sees them, and what does she do? She goes right back to looking at the fallen airships. Mind you, Yelena had these 4 captive, and she doesn't even show the slightest bit of fear of retaliation. In fact, Yelena talks to the 104 SWAT like they weren't just her prisoner 5 minutes ago. And when the SWAT is about to move out, Yelena makes this ugly ass expression when she faces Armin, quickly switches into a blush and smile, and then gives the SWAT her blessings in a pursuit to save Eren because she trusts Armin. So 2 points branching off from that. first, the face Yelena made was a thing out of a fucking horror movie. That was like some jump scare shit. But nonetheless, I still had to ask this question now more than ever. Would you still smash? Fellas, be honest. There will be a poll. Ladies too, if you want to answer, please answer the question. The other point I wanted to make is that Armin was smart as hell for tricking Yelena into making her believe that he supported the euthanasia plan. Had it not been for that, Armin could have been on a t-shirt because Yelena is definitely with the shits. Briefly talking about other character moments that I like in this chapter. First, you had John and Armin voicing their trust in Eren despite everything that has transpired. You had Connie, who flipped out on Onyankopon due to his recent distrust of the volunteers, showing the weight of all the betrayals Connie has experienced with Annie, Reiner, Berthold, and Eren. You had Mikasa leaving behind her scarf, which is a pretty damn significant thing since us readers know how much Mikasa clings onto that scarf and what it symbolizes. Mikasa abandoning that scarf could signify the beginning of the end of her relationship with Eren and her resolve to cut ties. And as a side note, there was a panel of Louise looking at Mikasa's scarf, so I think she may take it with her and maybe give it to Mikasa at some point, but only if Mikasa is still cool with Eren. You had Pixis, who immediately took command and gave out orders as soon as he was free. You had Nihilate, who looked after Falco the whole chapter, reassuring him that his Marleyan comrades would come after him, and he even guided him to his brother and Gabi. And lastly, you had Kaya, who was completely unforgiving of Gabi killing Sasha, showing that the cycle of hatred continues. Now, the characters I really wanted to hone in on were Falco and especially Gabi. I am not exaggerating when I say Gabi was and probably still is one of the most despised characters in Attack on Titan, but despite that, I had complete faith in her growth and her road to redemption. Through her trip to Paradise Island, Gabi has faced individuals like Mr. Blouse and Mikasa, who both showed her mercy, knowing that she killed someone precious to them, shattering the long-standing conception she had that all Eldians were devils. Gabi has also seen someone like Kaya, who was previously a sweet girl, but went berserk and tried to kill her after she learned about the culprit behind Sasha's death, and this made Gabi realize the ramifications of her actions. Lastly, you had Gabi's talk with Piet, where even her own comrade tried to make her understand the futility of becoming an honorary Marleyan, since Marley would have no use for Eldians in the future anyways. All of these interactions came together for this moment in this chapter where reality sets in for Gabi. All Eldians aren't devils. They were just people like everyone else. It was a moment I was fiending for, and with Gabi taking full responsibility for Falco drinking Zeke's spinal fluid, I can only see Gabi's character ascending from here on out. Now let's talk about my son, Falco, confessing to Gabi, even going as far as to say he wanted to marry Gabi in the future. I can't lie, y'all, I was fanboying over this confession. I'm a proud dad. Like, I'm so proud of my son Falco, for the simple fact that we usually don't get outright confessions like this in Attack on Titan. And I was ecstatic to see Falco have the courage to admit this to Gabi. On the bright side, I don't think Gabi is opposed to Falco's dream of marriage, but on the downside, ships don't usually work out in Attack on Titan if you didn't notice. Franz and Hana, Ymir and Historia, Hitch and Marlowe, Erwin and Marie, Berthold and Annie, Sasha and Nicolo, all ended with the death of one of the shipping partners, so Gabi and Falco might want to fall back on the prospect of romance for the moment. Finally, speaking about a specific moment between Gabi and Falco where Gabi rips off the armband that Falco was wearing, obviously this parallels to the moment where Falco ripped off Gabi's armband, and they both represented, at least to me, these characters freeing each other from the shackles of their insecurities. Gabi was so stressed about being a good Eldian, and Falco stripped away the armband that symbolizes oppression from being an Eldian. Falco was stressed about not having long to live now that he ingested Zeke's spinal fluid, and Gabi stripped away the armband that symbolized that Falco drank the wine. Another moment that this resembled slightly was the moment between Eren and Mikasa at the end of the Clash of the Titans arc, where Eren curves Mikasa before she can confess, and he tries to fight the Smiling Titan barehanded. And these moments, what they have in common is the fact that both led to the person being confessed to answering the confession with an action that gave the confessee hope. Moving on to Zeke and Pieck. First, Zeke was a monster like always, devastating the Marleyan army and saving Eren from the wrath of Porco. And then you had Mama Pieck, who flexed her wit once again by feigning defeat after she was being pursued by the Jaegers faction, waiting for the right moment so that General Magath could get a clean shot at Zeke. This playing possum strategy was similar to what Armin thought of in his fight with Bertholdt, and Pieck was able to come up with this on the fly, showing how smart she is. Also, you gotta give a shout out to the shooters. In this case, General Magath, cause that chopper won't miss a nigga. Chopper won't miss a nigga. So with Zeke down, the question is, will he go to his last resort and scream? Colt seems to think that the idea of Falco turning into a Titan as a consequence will halt Zeke from screaming, but seeing that Zeke wants Eldians extinct anyways, I highly doubt that. Also, I have to mention that Ymir must be heated right now, and I'm not talking about lesbian Ymir, I'm talking about this Ymir. She sat there in this weird ass desert area, molding his body for Zeke, nursing him back to health, and then he goes on and gets fucked up in no time at all. And I don't think Ymir will help Zeke this time. And just some off points I wanted to bring up. The anti-Titan rifle that Colt brought up will unironically be a case of Chekhov's gun. It's a rifle that can take out Titans. So despite of how impractical that rifle may be, I definitely think it will be put to use. It's kind of like when Gabi picked up that rifle during the invasion of Marley. I just knew she was going to kill someone for sure, so I believe that this rifle will shoot a Titan shifter for sure. I also wonder what Historia's importance will be, or I should say I wonder what Historia's baby importance will be in this final arc. Seeing how Historia and Zeke are the only ones living with royal blood, and I'm guessing that Zeke will probably die soon, this Historia situation will be very key later on. Random prediction, but I think our sleeper Titan shifter, Annie, whether she gets freed or eaten, her fate will be left in the hands of Armin. Armin has had a past relationship with Annie, and with Bertholdt's memories inside of him, and maybe even influencing him, I think it will be perfect for Isayama to make it to where Armin has a choice and whether Annie will be free or eaten by another ally. Last point that I felt was imperative to be mentioned was Shadez lying and saying he got into a fight with a bear. Instructive Keith Shadez never changed, man. Overall, I thought chapter 117 was a good chapter, but chapter 118 was a great chapter of Attack on Titan. I also want to say, be on the lookout for a future video, of course, Attack on Titan theme, where I'm going to be comparing Armin and Erwin, and I also have some fun facts in that video, so again, be on the lookout for that. But guys, that's pretty much all I had to say with this review. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Satsuki the Savage, out.